And there's something about acknowledging or having a sense of, that transitions, changes, even if they're positive, are still a loss. So you've lost the physicality of your son being around the house, and that has an impact on you emotionally, mentally, your sense of space, all of those things. Yeah, and we might see a difference in that relationship over time, quite naturally. But it's all sort of losses that can bring about a grief, which sometimes I don't think we acknowledge too much day to day. We kind of tend to think someone's got to die in order for us to grieve, whereas really we're, grieving many things. Whether it's as you described, Jim, a sort of difficult relationship because we can have expectations or wishes or desires for relationships to be a certain way, and for just whatever reason they are just not. So we have to grieve that. That's a loss. To sort of have a sense of wishing our relationship with our son or our daughter or our sibling or our parent, is more than it was. For whatever reason, we can have all of that as part of our lives and relationships too. And so we grieve that loss of what we imagined it to be. Perhaps with a sense of kind of the transitions, because we can weave that in, because I think there's something about sort of slowing down the process so that we have time to acknowledge those different types of losses, and allow ourselves to feel what we feel in response to them, in order that we can continue to function and enjoy other aspects of life and so forth. So it can be really important. All right, so maybe this can be something about giving ourselves the space to feel those things, and we'll explore a little bit around that. All right, so if that feels okay, we'll settle in. So taking a time to come into a comfortable seat or a comfortable posture for your body, for your practice. Feeling free to close the eyes or hold a soft gaze and move between the two. And so we've been talking and practicing around transitions. A sense of moving from one aspect of our lives to another. Including a sense of doing, perhaps, and then arriving into a meditation practice. And it's with this invitation to have this sense of slowing things down, so we can really feel into that shift from being one way and then being another way. So taking these first moments to feel into the body, noticing sensations or a sense of energy in and around the body. And whatever that means for you, whether that's feeling the weight of the body here, perhaps feeling temperature, whether you're cool or warm, any sense of tingling or vibration that might be present. Whether there's a sense of restlessness or agitation. Whether there's a sense of tiredness, sleepiness. Or maybe even a sense of peacefulness and calm. This opening to our experience gives a sense of allowing things to be just as they are. Allowing things to be just as they are, without judgment, but perhaps more with curiosity. A sense of interest. Oh, that's what I'm feeling right now. Or this is what I'm noticing right now. So slowing things down to be able to take notice of what's here, what's present in the body and the mind. And as a way of embodying this, we might even take a few slow, longer, conscious breaths. As a way of slowing and deepening the breath. overly forcing the breath in any way. Just gently taking your time, lengthening the breath in, lengthening the breath out. We can notice any experience that comes into the mind, any sense of urgency, plans or worries, and acknowledging them with kindness. Maybe even with a sense of, yeah, that's on my mind right now. That's really troubling me right now. That's really affecting me right now. And then gently coming back to slowing the breath. Feeling the sensations in the body. And also coming back to our shares, we explored a little how any transition, shift, change, in a way means loss, even if it's a positive one. So things will be a certain way, something will shift or change, and it's no longer that way. And we've lost that way. We have to find a new way to be. And so this sense of slowing down through these transitions is to allow ourselves to feel, giving ourselves the time to process. So if there's a change that you've been experiencing recently or you're going through, just maybe even now giving yourself some space to acknowledge how that is for you. Even if it's as simple as saying, this is tough right now. Or I feel really sad about this change, but also hopeful. So, acknowledging the change itself acknowledging the loss, acknowledging any thoughts or feelings that come about because of this change. And I'll just give you a little bit of space here just to bear witness to your experience. Maybe you gently note it and name it in your mind as these different elements arise. And at any time, to support your journey, to support your practice, you can come back to the breath. Taking a few slow, conscious breaths. And then wherever you are in this process, taking a moment now to let go of any words or images. Just resting your attention in the body, feeling the weight of the body here, your connection with the ground. Maybe taking some moments to consciously soften, maybe through the jaw, the shoulders, softening in the belly, softening in the palms and the fingers. So this slowing down, this acknowledging the change, the loss, and the feelings and thoughts that accompany it. It's all part of the grieving process. Giving it some space, some time, some attention. And another place we might feel loss is when we have an expectation a wish, a desire for a relationship in our lives to be a certain way. Whether that's with our partner or our children, our siblings, our parents. It could even be with our friends. And whatever relationship we have in our life, we have a sense of imagining or wishing for it to be a certain way. And if for whatever reason that changes or shifts or never quite gets there, we can experience a deep loss. And we might gently acknowledge that. I feel really sad about that. I help them all I can and nothing changes. This is difficult for me. Noting any other thoughts or feelings that arise. Taking some steady, slow breaths. Allowing yourselves some space to breathe and feel. So if any changes and losses in our lives have involved people, just shifts in relationships, friendships, we can hold those people in our hearts and minds, wishing them well. And perhaps we'll end our practice here with just a few words and phrases of loving kindness, of metta. May those people that we have in mind, may they be safe and free from harm. May they be filled with love and kindness. May they be peaceful and find their way and live with ease. And then lastly, to acknowledge our own experience. May we offer metta to ourselves. May I be safe and free from harm. May I be filled with love and kindness. And may I be peaceful, find my way, and live with ease. And then feeling the connection with the ground, perhaps beneath your feet or through the seat of the pelvis. Feeling the wave of the breath. And then together we'll notice the breath for a breath in and a breath out. And we'll bring this practice to a close. And then taking your time, gently, slowly shifting from the practice. A sense of us moving from one way of being into another way of being. Lifting the gaze, opening your eyes whenever you feel ready. As we feel that transition now into this space. So, thank you for your practice.